Hello guys, welcome. If you're wondering how much you're going to need to buy a house, then you're in the right place. That's exactly what I'm going to cover with you today. I'm going to go over each element that makes up the total of how much you should have before settlement and then how much you need at the settlement table. I'm Evette Acevedo. I'm a real estate agent with Honest Real Estate in Philadelphia. I also serve Bucks and Montgomery counties. Now, the intent for me making this video is to help future homeowners like yourself be best prepared for the home buying journey. So hit that pause button, grab yourself a pen and paper, and let's get to it. The location of the property is going to have a huge impact on the overall cost because property tax and insurance rates are tightly correlated to where the property is located. Also, since different types of mortgages have specific down payment requirements, the type of mortgage you get will have an impact on how much is needed at the settlement as well. There's no way to really narrow down estimations until you actually know where you want to be and the type of mortgage you qualify for. With that said, there's still a lot to go over, and I want to provide you with a general basic idea of what to expect. The elements that determine how much you're going to need are the inspection, appraisal, property transfer tax, recording fees, lender origination fees, title search and insurance, down payment, and broker fees. I'm not going to talk about escrow deposits here because that's technically not part of your settlement costs. It's basically a deposit that you make when your offer gets accepted and that money goes towards a settlement. I made a video that specifically talks all about escrow deposits. I highly recommend you watch it if you haven't watched it already. I'll include a link at the end of this video so you could check it out. Let's move right into the prepaid items. That would be the inspection and the appraisal, which are paid at the time of service. Inspection charges are pretty much based on the type of property you're getting, the square footage, and what you want inspected. So the price is going to vary. Things like radon or termite inspections are not included in a standard inspection, and that's going to cost you a little extra if you decide you want those services done. Of course, you can shop around for an inspector. Just be sure that they're licensed and insured. If you're financing the property, the lender is going to order an appraisal to make sure the property value is justified. You're going to pay the lender directly for the appraisal, who in turn orders the appraisal on your behalf. The inspection and the appraisal combined are about $1,000 and shouldn't be more than $1,500. Again, the inspection and appraisal is something that will need to be paid way before settlement. And if the agreement is canceled for whatever reason, it's non-refundable because you're paying this to a third-party vendor. Now let's move on to what is needed at settlement. These aren't due until you reach the closing table, which at that time you will be the new homeowner. Yay! Okay, so we got the transfer tax, the deed recording, lender hold, origination, title search, mortgage down payment, brokerage fees. I'm going to show you an illustration how everything is put together, but my editing skills aren't really up to par right now, so I have to kind of do it like this. Sorry. Philadelphia has a 4.278% property transfer tax, so it's a little over 3.25% to the state and 1% to the Commonwealth. This transfer is usually divided equally between the seller and the buyer. So, for example, think of it this way. For every $100,000, it comes out to $4,280, right? Which is usually divided equally between the seller and the buyer. So that's $2,140 for each $100,000. This percentage is specific to Philadelphia. It varies depending on the county. Bucks and Montgomery counties is 2%. And we have the recording fee for the deed and mortgage. That's going to come out to $525. That's $275 for the deed and $250 for the recording. If you're financing the property, the lender is going to most likely require about 3 months worth of property taxes and insurance at settlement. Sometimes they ask for more. It depends on the lender. But you can estimate how much you're going to need to pay at settlement by dividing the annual tax by 12, then multiplying that number by 3, or however many months the lender is going to require. Your mortgage lender is going to hold these funds on your behalf as a cushion to help make sure that you don't fall behind on future property taxes and insurance. Then as far as property insurance goes, you can shop around for that. If you're financing with less than 20% down, you're most likely going to pay for PMI, which stands for private mortgage insurance. The private mortgage insurance premium can be paid at settlement in a lump sum, or it can be added to your monthly mortgage payment. PMI does not last forever. It does eventually go away. Once you reach 20% equity in your home, it goes away, then you don't have to pay anymore. The lender is going to have a lender origination fee, which is what the lender charges to establish the loan. It can be a percentage or a flat fee depending on what the lender charges. Next, we have a title search and title insurance. Rates for this are pretty standard. If you want, you can do a Google search for PA title fee table. It's available online. Your mortgage down payment will need to be added to the total needed at settlement. If you're getting FHA, it's going to be 3.5% of the loan amount, but it could be anywhere between 0 and 25% depending on your qualifications and what you want to accomplish. The real estate brokerage that you hire to represent you may have fees as well. This is something that you're really going to want to discuss before signing the relationship agreement with your realtor. I made a video all about this. I highly recommend you check it out. As far as realtor commission goes, your realtor needs to be very clear about how that works. We cannot assume that the seller is going to pay your realtor's commission. So it's extremely important to talk openly with your realtor to see the value that they have in representing you. When everything is calculated, you're going to subtract your earnest money deposit that you put down and also subtract any down payment assistance you're getting. This will give you an estimation of how much you're going to need at settlement. Was any of this helpful so far? If it was, let me know by typing helpful in the comments. This would let me know if I should continue to make videos like this. But I think we should probably go through a quick illustrated example. Let's hypothetically say you're a first-time buyer and your $200,000 offer was accepted. Woohoo! You're using FHA financing. The property taxes are $3,000 annually. And you qualify for a $10,000 first-time homebuyer's grant. Starting with prepaids, these are items due before settlement. You decided to put 1.5% down towards your escrow deposit, which comes out to $3,000. Watch my video all about escrow so you can learn more about that. Let's just say your inspection was about $500 and you decided to do a termite inspection, so you're going to add another $80 to that. And then you have the appraisal, which is about $500. So you see the total in this example of how much would be needed before settlement. Okay, so now let's talk about what you will need at the settlement table. So we have your portion of the transfer tax, the recording fees, lender origination. I put here 1%, but that's going to vary. I highly recommend that you shop around for a lender to compare their rates and their charges to make a decision as far as which lender is best for you. Depending on the lender, they may ask for 3 months worth of property insurance up front to be held for you, or they may ask for more. But in this example, with the $3,000 annual tax for 3 months, that would be $750. Your private mortgage insurance, because you're buying in with less than 20% down, that's $420 for 3 months. They're going to hold that and then put your premium payments in your mortgage. You have your title search, your title insurance, your mortgage down payment, which if you're getting FHA, it's going to be $7,000 at 3.5% for a $200,000 mortgage. And this is going to vary depending on the type of mortgage you're getting. Then you have your broker's fees at $395 and your realtor commission at $1,500. Now, the broker and realtor fees, they are negotiable and need to be discussed early in the process before you make a commitment to work with them. Now, once you have the total, subtract the escrow deposit because you already put that down as a down payment, and any buyer's assistance that you plan on getting. In this case, deduct $10,000 from the total. Now, I've had closings where the buyer didn't have to bring anything because the compounding layers of different qualifying assistance pretty much covered everything. And in some situations, the buyer didn't qualify for anything. But in this example, we're using $10,000. And as you can see, about $6,000 is going to be needed at the closing table for this example. There are so many variables that influence how much is needed at settlement, and having a general understanding of the numbers in advance will definitely help you plan ahead. I know this seems like a lot, but I assure you when the variables that are pertaining to your individual circumstances are plugged in, it does make a lot more sense. That's why it's so important to work with someone who will take the time to explain each step and make sure you fully understand the process in advance. Well, that's all I have for you now, and now's actually a good time for you to ring that bell and subscribe so you don't miss any helpful episodes. And if you haven't already, watch the recommended videos that correspond to the one you just watched. It's coming up on the next screen, so click on it so you can watch it. Till next time, bye!